All right, so we're gonna start the core epics sealed mode tier list. Um, this is the second one I've done. The first one was the core legendaries. I had to split it up into parts because there's so many cards that are available in sealed mode, about 1,000. But we're gonna try and get through all of them before the next rotation. First thing, nice. It's all blown up. Wait, why is this card in here? We're just gonna ignore that. Cool, so I'm gonna basically go through the cards one by one and put them into a tier. Happy to hear feedback or different perspectives. This is more just for fun and kind of based on my experience playing, what I've seen, what's been annoying, what's good, what's bad. And they're in no order. I just downloaded all of them individually. And if some of them are also not in the rotation, then they're removed. I just didn't remove those either. Anyways, that's too much introduction. Let's just do the first one. Oh, one last thing. I usually do the core set epic. Yeah. So that this screen looks a little bit bigger than the other one. All right, first card, Dust to Dust. And also do all 60. Destroy each destroy each creature with a mana cost of 2 or 3. For 4 mana. So this has been used against me a few times. I feel like it's good. The downside's just too heavy in my opinion to take it seriously. You can destroy your own 2 or 3 mana creatures, so you kind of have to play around it. I'm sure it still gets taken if you don't have that much AoE, but generally there are so many better cards if you get offered them. All right, second one, or next one, Slip Blade. 5 mana, deadly, flank, goblets. Pretty good card because you can insta clear something big or small, depending on your health. But just being able to clear immediately in sealed mode is usually pretty good with no downside. I mean, the downside is the health. So because of the downside, I would put it at A. But deadly cards are generally pretty good because there are lots of big, tall creatures that win games. There's also not that much relic removal, and it's God Blitz, so I've used this to finish games too. One damage to the face. Pretty good card. All right, if there's no comments, I'm just going to move on. But we can also, the last time I saved a bunch for the end, after they were all kind of put out, you could compare based on the other cards in that tier. So the next one I'll do is Oni Spell Sword. 3 mana, ward. After you play a card, this creature gets +1 strength, and your weakest creature gains ward. So in ranked or in ladder, maybe this is pretty good, but I feel like this is awful in sealed. You rarely get it online. Ward is good, but just playing a 0 strength creature, sometimes you get it up a few strength, but you can't really rely on having too many cards in sealed. You just generally are playing with a card not focused on synergy, but just straight up value. And for value, 0/3 for 3 mana is bad. That's my take. I've never really seen it go off That's also another big thing. I've never seen it go off in games, and when I've taken it, it's never been good. So C, but not D, because there are definitely going to be some D cards in here. Just bad for sealed. All right, I'll go into the next one. Vinebound Jotun, 8 mana, overkill with roar, deal 3 damage to each other creature, 10 strength, 12 health. I feel like it's a pretty good card. Even though it's to your own creatures potentially, the AoE clear is usually pretty good if you can get it off at 8 mana. Also, like if it sticks, the overkill plus 10 strength, huge. Probably doesn't get played that much, but I have seen it played a few times. Sometimes it's generated, sometimes it's taken. Probably more of like if your pool helps you get to 8 mana, plus you don't have that many other 8 mana cards that are good. So with that logic, I would say it's probably B. Not as bad as these, but pretty good by itself. Pretty decent. Eight mana is kind of expensive in sealed, but I think a decent amount of decks can get to 8. All right, I'm gonna move on. Veil Warden Minotaur, 5 mana. Afterlife, heal your god for 3, and add a random 7 mana wild creature to your hand. So generally the cards that generate other cards are really good in sealed, but this one also has the heal your own god for 3, which has saved me in so many occasions, just like getting the extra heal. There's not usually a lot of heal in sealed. Plus the stats for 5 mana are pretty good. I'd put it at S. Put this one at S. It's a wild creature. Getting a 7 mana, like it's so easy to put this in the turn before you hit 7. Basically expect it to die, either your opponent's turn or your turn. Get the 7 mana card and play that. And that's a good strategy. It generates cards, heals your god, good stats by itself. And it doesn't generate any card. Like 7 mana cards are generally pretty useful. We'll see if I have to move it around, but Veil Warden S seems pretty accurate. All right, next card, Warmonger Smith. 2 mana, 2/4, roar, give your relic 1 strength for its next attack. Just for the stats, 2/4 is like pretty high tier. Almost always take it if I see it, just for the creature stats. Like this current pool, I've got two 2-mana creatures. So if this was one of them, it would be so much better than what they are right now. But they're generally pretty good. The effect almost never goes off, but just for the stats, I think it's probably a B. Maybe A. What? Annoying. All right, I'll move on. I think as more get on, and it'll be easier to see what stuff should be changed. Good cat. Alright, next one, Devouring Blade. 4 mana, 4 attack, 1 durability, blitz. Afterlife, destroy a random creature. Because this has the downside of almost destroying your own creature, it's not that good. But when you can kill 2 enemy targets because you don't have any of your own, it's like very, very good. So can't make it too high tier because of that, the downside, but with the upside, I'd say it's solid B. Maybe even A. Maybe even A, because you can play around the downside often in sealed, because generally people have board wipe. I'll put it A for now, but at least B. Any comments on that? Devouring Blade, B or A? Because I think it can be really good. Okay, I'll leave it at A for now. Alright, next, Void Drake, 7/7/7. Roar, destroy each creature with 3 health or less. Once again, downside, can it destroy your own creature? But since you could play around it, and it has good stats for the mana, can be a solid card. You can get up to like 4 or 5 creatures destroyed. Sometimes it's even worth to get your own. I haven't been playing too many 7 mana cards recently, so I'm not actually sure if I find them that strong. 8 is different because they usually have a bigger power spike, but 7 is usually like the ones that are offered are pretty meh, and it's not that important of a turn with God Power and card gen. Maybe I put it at B. May actually put it lower. I think B is okay. Wood Drake B. B tier. Alright, moving on, Eldritch. Where is it? Eldritch Demonologist. Pull the strongest nether from your deck to your hand. 4 mana, 3/3. Pretty bad stats for sealed. Effect, probably okay. I mean, if you have a good nether, but that's not always guaranteed. I think it's pretty bad. I'd say it's probably D. D tier. Like, you do get to... just the stats is horrible. And in sealed, I feel like you need to have good stats or effects. And this effect is okay, and the stats are bad, so it's a bad card. Whereas the effect here is good, but it's bad stats, so it's a bad card. And I feel like in comparison, the effect here is great, the stats are good, so this is a great card. I think the logic follows. But as I do more of these, I'm sure I'll start to like develop a better perspective. Alright, anyways, Eldritch Demonologist D. Probably no complaints from anyone there. Next, Planetar Centurion. 7 mana, 6/8. Frontline. Add a random Ether to your hand for each Ether in your hand. This used to be so much better. Like, I think it was a Delve in Ether. I don't know why it got nerfed. It wasn't even that good. but now you need to have an Ether, so you almost never get the effect. Frontline's okay, but there's just so many better 7 mana cards. There's so many better 6 mana cards in this. It's probably C. Planetar Centurion, C, I think. Stats are okay, but like there's just so many better ones, and 7 mana is not that important of a turn, I think. For creatures. It is for wave clear. APOC, Inferno, Unbound Flames, Seasonal Reborn, stuff like that. But not for creatures, I think. Could be wrong. Always down to hear some arguments. Alright, can we get any more S tier? Let's go. Next one, Phase Touched Golem. 3 mana, 3/3, ward. Give ward to another Atlantean. I do like the change here, because you get to point and click. A funny thing is, if there's only an enemy Atlantean, you have to give it to them. So be wary of that. But I think stats are decent. Effect is good. B tier. I take it decent most amount of the time. Just having something with ward means it'll probably stick if you're bored. If their board is empty, it can stick almost every time. Face touch, B tier. We'll keep it. Alright, next one, Blackguard. 5 mana, 3/4, horrible stats, frontline. And roar, give +2/+2 to each other friendly creature with backline, which like could be good if it wasn't with backline. Like most stuff you have doesn't have backline. There's just not much stuff with backline. Depending on the synergy for this, and sealed seems like a really bad choice, and just because the stats are bad. D, easy D tier Blackguard. Easy D. Yeah, I don't think any complaints there. Alright, next one. Wildfire. 4 mana. Deal 1 damage to each enemy creature. Give +1/+1 and regen +1 to each wild. So it's decent as AoE because it does 1 damage to the enemy and not your own. Getting the synergy can be kind of hard if you're not playing Badger. But it just for the 1 damage to each enemy creature and sealed can be pretty useful. I don't see it played, like if I'm ever hanging on whether I know it's good or not, I don't think I've played it or seen it played that much. So I'll probably put it at C. There's got to be so many other better 4 mana cards in sealed too that just work in a more general term, because this only gives it to wild. Part of the effect only to wild, which is bad. Wildfire C. Better than D, but not as good as B, is my take. Okay. Next one, Tomb Priest. 4 mana, 3/3. Afterlife, pull the strongest and Nubian from your void to your hand. D. No questions. Rarely Nubians. Bad stats. This might actually be removed from the pool. We'll see. But I'm not even going to spend that much time on it. It's bad. Next one, Catapult. 5 mana, 2/5, backline, deal 3 damage is an ability. I actually have this in my current list. My current sealed list. Been getting more and more liking this and the 3 mana one because dealing 3 damage every turn if it's ignored is just insane. It can completely swing the game. The trick is like being able to get it to stick. It should cost 4 mana because it's so easy to remove. I just think the upside is too high though. Like, I don't know about ladder, but like for sealed, every turn 3 damage, it's sometimes gone off. Against me, both against me and for me, it's gone off. So even at 5 mana, it's still good. I'd say it's probably C tier still. Actually, you know what? I think it's B tier because if it's not removed, it's really bad. So actually, you know what? Maybe put it up to A because in the last tier list, everything that was if it's not removed is OP was A or higher. And if that's the case, actually, Jotun would be here too. But I'll keep moving these around as time goes on. Put Catapult at A for now. Catapult at A. Like the stats are not even bad. Like 5 health for 5 mana, and then deals in the backline too. Backline is not easy in sealed. You don't always have spells. All right, I'll leave it at A for now. Maybe change it. Next one for sealed, maybe it's great. Yes, yeah. This is sealed mode tier list only. I'm not worrying about ranked because I don't even play that much ranked, so I don't know. Okay, Red Fume Serum, 5 mana, 5 plus. I'm sorry, give +5/+5 and burn +1 to a friendly creature. Ends games. Extremely good, I think. Always good card. Either trades super well or just you get +5 to face. I'd say it's S. I say this is S. It's so flexible. You can put it to any creature. Great for face damage. Great for trading. Red Fume is an S in my opinion. I take it every single time. Like these two, I take every single time. A's and S probably take every pool if you see them. B's maybe. C's and D's are like the flex picks. You have to, or you have synergy. You actually do have the synergy for it. But S and A take every time, in my opinion. All right, Red Fume S. Cool. Next one of my favorite cards, End Times. Destroy each creature, then summon a 6/6 skull for 8 mana. Also another S, in my opinion. Huge AoE clear. You get a minion. Like some of the worst cards in the game right now are strongest cards are Zealous March, Roadside Checkpoint. There's just so many big creatures without ward. So I'd say this is S. End Times is S for me. The downside is just so easy to play around at 8 mana. You have so much time to set up if you know you're going to be playing this card. I take it every game as well that I get it. All right, End Times S. I don't think any issues, right? Alright, Void Flash, 4 mana. Select a friendly creature and enemy creature, destroy them both. So I do take this a lot. I see it a lot. It's a good destroy, but you do need to have the creature to do it. And you need to have a creature that's not like amazing. So there is some synergy dependent. I think it's still probably B, maybe even A. Like as far as single target, it's just a downside. Like this is a different downside than your health. So I guess this is the same. I think Void Flash is an A. Really solid removal. Like you don't need too much setup. You do need a little bit, but I've destroyed so many like big creatures with this one card. Alright, Void Flash A. We'll keep it. Next. A Toast to Peace. 5 mana, return each creature from the board to its owner's hand. So for sealed, this is sometimes good. If they play a really wide, cheap board, can be really good. Destroy some of them by overdraw and then mill. But I think there's a big downside to it. We'll put it at C. Toast to Peace at C, maybe B. I think it's actually B. No, I'll put it at C. Toast to Peace C. Getting no help from chat today. I'm gonna have to make the decisions, but I can make them initially, and then at the end it'll be like, oh, but this one should go there, maybe. So I'll move on from that and just try to get through them. There's so many left. Go to Judge Envoy. 6 mana, 6/6. Set an enemy creature strength to 0. Pretty simple. Super solid stats. Super good effect. I want to say it's S tier. No, it's A. It's not like you have to remove it to win the game. Just very, very solid card. Judge Envoy 6. Judge Envoy A tier. Done. I'd say solid. Solid A. No questions. Next one, Time Bomb. 2 mana, 3/2. Afterlife, deal 2 to the weakest enemy creature. Pretty solid in sealed. Like great stats, great effect. I want to say it's A. Definitely not B. It's better than the B tier. Like this is better than that because of the removal and the attack. Keep it at A for now, maybe to change it later. Alright, next one. 2 mana, 2/2, Penethesian Warrior. I said it right. Give +1/+1 to the strongest other friendly Amazon. I played this card a decent amount, actually. But not really because I have to, it's because usually I just need a 2 mana card creature. But sometimes the effect goes off. I would say it's C. It's not as good as B, but If you can get the effect, it's decent. Yeah, we'll call it C tier. Oh man, getting through this probably about halfway. What? All right, next card. Tomb Blade Master, 7 mana, frontline soul, or 7 mana 4/5, frontline soulless, afterlife summon the strongest Nubian. Pretty bad. I would say it's D because the stats are bad and you can almost never get the Nubian effect to work even decently. Like these ones you can get the effect to work decently, but these ones you probably can't at all. I'm not even gonna debate this one too much. Tomb, D. Pretty easy D. Next one. Sentry Post. 2 mana, 1/3 backline. Ability to deal 1 damage. Not as good as the other ones because 1 damage is just not as relevant. Oh. Alright, C. Probably C. Quick smoke break. This is hard. That's weird. Alright, go without it. Alright, we'll do the next one. Ballista. 3 mana, 1/4. Better stats, backline, deal 2 damage each turn. So this one's better than the Sentry Post. Probably about B tier. Decent stats, good ability. If anything, maybe it's actually Ballista here, Catapult here, because it's easy to remove this for 3 mana. But if you use like Rusted Away for 5 mana, you get a better deal than the 3 mana one. Otherwise, it's pretty easy to remove them both for their respective mana. Not easy, but like within the range of like basic cards. I'll put it like this for now. Ballista A, Catapult B. Alright, next one. Dionysian Drunk. 3 mana, 3/3. Switch the strength and health of a creature. Just for the stats, it's pretty decent. I take it almost every game because the flexibility of being able to switch the health and strength. You can use it for your own or your other or the opponent's. I want to say it's A. Like, the flexibility is really important in sealed. I think that's why a lot of these epics are stronger or completely weak, because some of these cards have just good general use, good general value. And I see it a lot. Or I guess I take it a lot. Maybe it's just me. All right, next one, Ether Vanguard. 6 mana, 4/4. Deal 2 damage to each two enemy creatures. You may select the same creature twice. I have this in my current list. Being able to deal 2 damage spread out or tall is really useful. Plus you get a body. I think this is a solid A card. Good flexibility, good value. Just not like overwhelming power, but good. Is this too big? We'll do 170. All right, next card, Fickle Cambion. 3 mana, 3/3. After your god takes damage, this creature gains 1/1. Decent stats, decent effect. I want to say it's B tier, because the effect doesn't always go off, but if it does, it's good. Even without the effect, it's okay, and I would take it. Fickle at B. I feel like it's good. Any comments? All right, moving on. Born Again. Pretty fun card. 6 mana. Pull a creature from your void and give it +5/+5 and ward. Ward is amazing in sealed. +5/+5 can turn a 1 mana card into just a bomb. And with ward, it makes it like almost unremovable. But the mana is kind of expensive. I've seen this played a decent amount. I take it almost every time I get it. I want to say it's A. Born Again is an A for me. Super strong, fun and sealed. Like, you can just play early game Zoo, take one of them at 6 mana, completely swing it. 2/2 turns into 7/7 with ward. You can also take like a 5 mana card and just play it next turn. Born Again is an A for me. All right, next turn. Next one, Thonmining Golem. I don't know. Hidden. At the end of your turn, get +1 strength to your Atlanteans. The Hidden's okay. Just for the Hidden, I think it's probably like C and not D. But otherwise, it's nothing special. So many better 6 mana cards. The Golem's a C for me, not a B. Alright, next one, Faithbreaker, 5 mana, 1/1. After God takes damage, this creature gains +1/+1. Just D for this mode. Just because 5 mana, 1/1 for stats that you need to get the effect, and it's just so hard to get that effect immediately. Straight D. Faithbreaker is a D for me. Okay. Next one, Milician Magistrate, 3 mana, 3/3. Roar, give a friendly Anubian afterlife, return this creature to the board. I mean, for the stats, it's okay, but you almost never get the effect. If you do get the effect, it's decent. So I've said that before about other stuff. What is that? And that means Fickle is lower. Fickle's now a C for me. It's basically the same as Milician. Alright. Magistrate, C. Fickle, now C. Next one. Witherfingers, 7 mana, 8/6. Huge. Roar, 3 strongest creatures, go to sleep. Gain +2 burn. This is an S tier card. You gotta remove it. Insane effect, insane stats. Easy S tier with the fingers. I would take it every single time I'm offered. Like, this is one of those 7, like I was talking about the other 7 mana. They're just okay. That's because if you get one of these, you would take it over that. Have to remove. Super versatile. Okay. Next one, Whisper, 3 mana, 2/3, hidden, which is good and sealed. And after you summon a guild creature, this creature gains +1 strength. Hard to get that effect. Decent hidden. Probably C. Whisper Baron C. Hidden's good, but for the stats, it's like there's so many better 3 mana hidden creatures for the stats, and you can almost never get the effect the way that you want it. Whispers is C. Yeah, Whisper Baron is definitely a C. Okay. Next one. Prophet of Doom. 3 mana, 2/4. Increase the cost of 6 and 7 mana spells in your opponent's hand by 1. You know, for the stats, like 4 mana sticks better. 2 attack is hard, but once again, if the Warmonger is 2/4 and the effect is just as unhittable, I feel like this is worse than Warmonger, so it's probably a C. Sometimes take, not always take. Prophet. Prophet of Doom's is C for me, for sure. Alright, next one. Parthian Recruiter. Once per turn, summon a 2/2 Acolyte after a character is healed. Like 4/3/3, the stats are good. The effect's like decently easy to hit. It's probably also at C. Like, there's just so many 3 mana cards. And I think if you're going to take 3 mana, you do want just raw stats, so it's got to stand out. If it's not just this, like, that's why I think Dionysian is a standout. Like, it can turn a 4/1 into a 1/4 kind of thing. Or vice versa if you have like a ping. It's really flexible compared to like this is just give word, which is still better than this, which is like you have to damage your god to give it +1, which you can almost never do. You have to play a guild creature to get +1 strength to make it meh. So I think these all follow the same line of thought, which is if you're playing a 3 mana card and it's not just like 3/3, it's got to have it's got to have a good effect in order to make it decent. Cool. Next one, Academy Pyromaniac. 3 mana, 1/4 frontline ward. See, like, these are just good terms for sealed frontline and ward. If you have 9 mana, gain +5/+5. I think this is a B card. Frontline's super helpful. Ward makes it stickier. And then occasionally you get the status, which makes it insane. I like it. Let's keep moving. Ether Snap. 4 mana, summon 2 1/1 Ether Bugs. I think this was used on me last game to win. I don't know if it helped him win that much, but it's kind of slow for the mana, but not horrible. I think it's probably C. Definitely not B, like so many better 4 mana cards, but it's better than these D cards, I think. All right, next one, River Jumper Captain, 3 mana, 1/4 ward. Gain 1 strength for each Amazon. Hard to get effect, but even if you don't get the effect, ward in 1/4, pretty bad. 2/4, 3 mana, 2/4 if you get the effect. Probably C, because this is still worse than Warmonger, which is just 2 mana, 2/4. I don't know. A lot of these cards have the conditional stuff, which makes it a lot better if you have the conditions, but in sealed you can't guarantee it, so that's why they have to be rated lower. I'm really looking for cards here that have like it itself counts as an Amazon. That still only makes it 3 mana, 2/4, which is with ward. With ward, 3 mana, 2/4 with ward would make it B, I think. Guaranteed. I didn't know it counts it with itself. I don't think I've ever played this card in sealed. Thank you. But yeah, so I'm in sealed mode looking for stuff that on its own can be kind of good. That would make it a higher tier. All right, Runecaster, 4 mana, 3/3. Obliterate any non-Viking cards. Wait, this might be removed, but it's bad. It's really bad. Because you can't guarantee the non-Viking stuff. You're just obliterating your hand for bad stats. I mean, I guess you draw 2 cards. Probably D. I think this is D. Not going to spend time on it. Never seen it played. Next one, Tartessian Blood Axe, 4 mana, relic, 3 strength, 2 durability. After you attack and kill a creature with this relic, draw a card. I've seen it work like once in maybe like 200 games. I feel like it's pretty bad. D. There's so many better relics. That's really what it is. Epic or not. Blood Axe D. Alright, getting a good spread. Looking for a few more good cards that are out there. Assistant Alchemist next. 1 mana, 2/2, which is really good stats. And reduced by 1 the cost of a spell in your hand. This is either B or A. What would make this better than... I think it's probably B. Because it's just really good stats. Like you would mostly take it just for the early value. And sometimes you get the effect. I've had to play it without the effect. It hurts, but it's still good. Alchemist at B. Probably pretty accurate. Not super good, not super bad. Wait, what's next? Battle Bard. 1 mana, 1/2. Give 2 strength to a friendly Viking. I think it's C. Maybe even D. Yeah, there's just too many better 1 mana cards. 1/2. Not very good. And you can rarely get the Viking effect. Battle Bard D. Maybe I'm wrong, but like 1 mana cards are just not that important. Like they gotta be really good to be important in sealed. Alright, Blind Martyr. 1 mana. Frontline. Afterlife. Give +2 health to each other friendly creature. 0/2. Like this is a good example of a potentially good 1 mana card. Because if you can hit 4 to 5 creatures, then you get 8 or 10. It's more likely like 2 to 3, which is still 4 +4 health +6 health for 1 mana. And that's pretty good. Also saves stalls some time occasionally. B. Blind Martyr at B. I take it most of the time. Playing it is sometimes hard, but just for the value, I think you can generally get good stats. It's 1 mana too, so you can sneak it in most turns. Alright, Chalice Priest, 2 mana, 1/4 backline. Sorry. Ability, set a creature's strength to 2. I took this once a long time ago, and I was just like, this is not a good sealed card, I think. It can attack. It's backline. And setting strength to 2 is so easy to play around if it's already on the board. I put it at D. Just not good value for this mode. Chalice Priest at D. It's not even a good card. We don't have to talk about it too much. Crystal Seer, Acolyte, 1 mana, 2/2. Another good stat line for 1. After your opponent plays a spell, give +1/+1 to a random friendly Atlantean, which can be itself. Just a solid card. I want to say it's B. It's still not A. It's just B. It's like Alchemist. Get the stats. Sometimes you get the effect. Crystal Seer, Acolyte is a B tier. Pretty accurate. Alright. Curious Wisp, 1 mana, 0/1. This creature gains 1/1, and then shuffle a copy of it into your deck. Probably C. Like, sometimes I take it just for occasional, like if I need the early creatures and I need board. I mean, it can be really good in sealed, but I think it's only occasional, so that's why it's C. Otherwise, it's not. It's bad stats. Alright. Bayflame, 2 mana relic, 1 twin strike, give a target creature confused, 4 durability. It's just like classic card. Most people have seen it a lot, whether it's ladder or sealed. I think it's really good. Probably A, not S, but just A. Gives confused, clears really well. It does have the downside of taking a lot of damage occasionally. A, not S. Bayflame is A. Still would take it in pretty much any pool I get. Always make room for it. Alright, next card, Hunting Trap. 2 mana, deal. You know what it is. Another A card. Solid removal, good for the mana. You can spend 2 mana to kill 8 mana occasionally. Hunting Trap A. If you get it, you just take it. That's what A and S are. So maybe Vine Bound. With that logic, Vine Bound, maybe I remove. Think about it at the end. Almost done, actually. Metamorphosis, 2 mana. Transform a friendly creature into a random creature that costs 1 or more mana. Pretty bad in sealed. Because it's random, and you kind of want to keep your creatures if you played them. But I would say D. You know what? Maybe C, because it can occasionally be good. But rarely. Metamorphosis C, I think. Yeah, Metamorphosis C. Alright, next one. Ritual Rod, another relic, 1 mana, 2/2. Add 1 durability if you control a mystic. Almost never get the thing, but just for the stats, 1 mana, 2/2. 2 swings, 2 strength. Pretty good. B tier. Most of the time take. Alright, last card. Cartesian Provisor, 1 mana, 2/1. Give +2 strength to a random creature in your hand. Low on the stats for health. Decent effect, probably still C. I think you take it when you need 1 mana cards, but it's nothing special. Usually it's pretty, it just makes it more of a target, whatever it gives the strength. Alright, this card shouldn't be there. I don't know how to delete it. But this is it. This is the full list. All of the core epics. I think a healthy distribution, only a few S tier cards. Decent amount of A, more A than B, but a lot of C. And then decent amount of D. There were about 60 cards. Let me check the list. There were 53 core epics. Yeah, and I think it distributed well. The thing about epics is they try to make them have interesting effects, not just like the common cards are just going to be basic stats with the tag. So I think because they're trying to give an effect, they can't make the stats too good. Otherwise, it'll just be like an amazing card. But they're all kind of interesting. So that's why a lot of them are C or D. In order to get value from one of these epic cards, you need to like also play other interesting like synergy. And that's the thing about sealed, like you can't really depend on your synergy to play well. You need to play cards that are just good in different scenarios where you don't have extra help. That's why I think these S tier cards are so good. Like I guess with Red Fume you do need a creature, but any creature will do, so that's pretty easy to handle. But the other ones, it's just you play them and you get healing for this and an extra 7 mana card. You destroy everything and a 6/6 creature. And this one, like, they go to sleep, which is just so strong and sealed. I think I'll make these the cover. And as far as the A, I do think they're pretty consistently good. Have to remove them for Ballista. That's the last. the logic here. If it's not removed, it's 2 damage, 2 damage, 2 damage every turn. Just like flexible cards. Good value. Would take. Now, the only one I wouldn't necessarily take is Vinebound, but like as far as it's probably better than the B tier just for removal and overkill and just stats in general. It's wild too. B tier. I think everything feels pretty accurate here. They're all just like decent stats or have a solid effect for the ratio. And the thing about this B tier that I was trying to make is that they're, for the mana, seem to be better than these C tier cards. 3 mana 3/3 feels like the baseline stat should actually be 3/3/4. So if you're 3/3, you have to have like a good effect. Words are a good effect in sealed. Yeah, I feel like the logic here is, I mean, this is my bias too, but I think it fit well. Like the distribution of these are better than, S is better than A, better than B, better than C. Although maybe this one, Academy, should go up to B. Ward, 4 health, front line. Yeah, I'm gonna move it up there.